Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're totally decoding the financial playbook of the top 1% and shifting your mindset from reactive to completely proactive. If you've ever felt like your money is, controlling you rather than the other way around, you are in exactly the right place. We are breaking down the systematic, intentional framework that high net worth individuals use to build and protect their wealth. Let's get right to it.
So, what really separates the top 1% from everyone else? We usually assume it's just a massive income, right? Or maybe a huge inheritance or some secret exclusive investment club. But honestly, it's none of those things. The uncomfortable truth is that it's all about how they think about money and the systems they use to manage it. Most folks just react to money as it comes and goes, but the top 1%, they design their financial life in advance.
All right, let's start with section 1, the mindset shift.
To manage your money like a pro, you've got to stop thinking of it as something you just spend and start thinking of it as something you deploy. Think of every single dollar as an employee. It's either out there working for you or it's working against you. Most people operate on, well, I call it the leftover system. They earn, they spend on their lifestyle, and then they cross their fingers and try to save whatever's left over at the end of the month. The problem there, human nature pretty much guarantees there's never anything left. The 1% flip this entirely. They use the pay yourself first system. Earn, save, and invest first, and then live on the rest. Before the rent, before groceries, before your streaming subscriptions, a fixed percentage goes directly into wealth building, automatically. It's totally non-negotiable. Legendary investor Warren Buffett hit the nail on the head with this. He said, do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. Moving from just hoping there's cash left to proactively securing your future first, that is the absolute bedrock of everything else we're going to cover today. Moving on to section 2, the 3-account system. Wealthy folks don't just toss all their money into one giant checking account and hope for the best. They use a surprisingly simple but insanely powerful system to automate their discipline. We call it the 3-account system. 3 accounts, 3 very specific jobs. Account 1 is operations. This is your standard checking. Bills, food, transit, your baseline cost of living. Money flows in, money flows out. You don't get emotionally attached to this balance. Account 2 is safety. This is your emergency fund, sitting pretty in a high-yield savings account with 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Why? So a sudden car repair or medical bill never forces you into high-interest debt. The wealthy treat this as untouchable. It's not a vacation fund, it is literal financial insurance. And account 3 is growth. This is the fun part, where wealth is actually built. Brokerage accounts, Roth IRAs, real estate. The golden rule here, money that goes into growth is never meant to come back as cash to spend. It compounds, it grows. It's the engine that eventually replaces your income entirely. 3 accounts. Every dollar knows exactly where it belongs. Okay, section 3, rethinking the budget rules. Now that the infrastructure is set up, how do we fill those accounts? The top 1% run dramatically different ratios than standard financial advice. You've probably heard of the 50-30-20 budget, right? 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings. It's a decent baseline. But high net worth individuals, especially the self-made ones, totally flip the savings number. During their prime earning years, they push to save and invest 30 to 40% of their income. I know, that sounds mathematically impossible for most of us, but here's exactly how they pull it off. They ruthlessly avoid lifestyle inflation. Listen closely, because this right here is the silent wealth killer. When most people get a raise or a bonus, they immediately upgrade their life. Nicer apartment, newer car, fancier vacations. Suddenly, they're earning way more, but saving the exact same tiny percentage. The wealthy make a very deliberate choice. When income goes up, the savings rate goes up first. Actually, scratch that. It goes up way before they even think about upgrading their lifestyle. And when extra money does come in, they use the 80-20 windfall rule. Get a bonus, a tax-free fund, 80% goes straight into savings or investments, and 20% is set aside for pure, guilt-free spending. This way, you aren't living a miserable, restricted life, but you also aren't blowing the exact capital that could dramatically speed up your journey to wealth. Let's shift gears to section 4, good debt versus bad debt. So, the wealthy have a really strategic relationship with debt that a lot of people totally misunderstand. It's not about avoiding all debt at all costs. It's about knowing the difference between the good and the bad. Bad debt is consumer debt.
Credit cards, car loans for depreciating vehicles, buy now, pay later traps. This debt funds your past. You already spent the money, and now you're paying a premium on something you probably can't even resell. The top 1% eliminate this completely. Good debt, though, that funds assets. Think mortgages on appreciating property or a business loan generating a return higher than the interest rate. Wealthy people use good debt as leverage to build wealth way faster than they could with just cash. The golden rule is incredibly simple. Never borrow to consume, only borrow to create. And hey, if you're sitting on bad debt right now, you absolutely must treat it like a 5-alarm financial emergency, because it is. Look at this number, 22%. That's the average credit card APR today. High interest debt is a massive anchor around your neck. Think about it this way. Paying off a 22% credit card is literally earning a 22% guaranteed tax-free return on your money. There's absolutely nothing in the stock market that reliably beats that. Kill the bad debt and build a fortress so it never comes back.
Now for Section 5, the boring investment secret. Once the bad debt is gone, your money is finally free to work for you. Most people think the 1% have some crazy secret edge, like exotic offshore investments or intense day trading algorithms. I'm bursting that bubble right now. The real foundation is way more boring, but highly actionable. Broad diversification, low fees, long time horizons, and consistency. A massive chunk of high net worth portfolios are just simple index funds, low-cost funds that track the entire market. Over decades, they consistently outperform those expensive, actively managed funds. The secret isn't finding the next hot stock. It's time in the market, not timing the market. They invest no matter what the market is doing and let compound interest do the heavy lifting. Let's make this undeniably real. $1.3 million. If you invest just $500 a month starting at age 25, at a historical 7% return, by 65, you'll have over $1.3 million. But if you wait until you're 35 to start doing the exact same thing, that final number drops to around $600,000. To put that into perspective, a 10-year delay costs you over $700,000. Time is literally your greatest asset, and it's the one thing you can never ever buy back. Which brings us to Section 6, building and protecting wealth. Building wealth is playing offense, but protecting it is playing defense, and they are equally important. You have to build a defensive infrastructure. First, ensure what you literally cannot afford to lose. Health, disability, and life insurance aren't optional luxuries. One medical emergency can wipe out 20 years of saving if you aren't covered. Second, you've got to engineer your taxes intentionally. I don't mean illegally, I mean smartly. Max out tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks and Roth IRAs. Treat your tax bill as a strategy to manage, not just a static fact of life. Every single dollar you legally save in taxes is another dollar compounding in your growth account for decades. Finally, Section 7, the playbook complete. So managing money like the top 1% really comes down to being relentlessly intentional. Here's the whole shebang, your complete playbook. Number 1, flip the script and pay yourself first. Number 2, use the 3-account system, so every single dollar has a job. Number 3, raise your savings rate before lifestyle inflation creeps in. Number 4, ruthlessly eliminate bad debt. Number 5, invest consistently starting right now. And number 6, protect your wealth with smart insurance and tax strategies. Look at that list. None of this is wildly complicated math, right? But it absolutely requires discipline. The gap between where you are financially today and where you want to be in 10 years, it's almost never a knowledge gap. We just laid out the knowledge. It's a behavior gap. It's about actually doing these boring, consistent things day in and day out. So you have the framework. The system is yours. My challenge to you is, what are you going to change this week? Are you setting up that high-yield saving account? Finally tackling that 22% credit card? I want you to hit the comments down below right now and declare the one specific action you are taking this week to close your behavior gap. Public accountability is a huge driver of success, so let's see those commitments. If this explainer was a real game changer for you, please do me a massive favor. Drop a comment, smash that like button to help the algorithm, and share this with a friend or family member who needs to hear it. We're all about empowering each other here. And if you want to completely master your financial future, make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. We break down these complex topics all the time, and you definitely won't want to miss what we've got coming up. Start putting those dollars to work today, guys, because if you don't decide right now where your money is going, someone else will gladly decide for you. So, whose economy are you funding?